All right, in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna show you how to get a lot more out of your workout so you're not wasting your fucking time. Got it? Let's get into it.
Feels like I've been doing way too much, babe. Feels like
I'm Danny of RxFit, and one of the primary things that I see people fail a lot at, car clients and people just kind of passively watching the gym like a creep, are they're not doing the workouts right. They're not putting them together. Like, you're spending an hour of your time, you want to get a lot more for your bang for your buck, right? If you're going to put an hour of time in your gym a day, 3 times a week, whatever, you want to make sure that you're getting a lot more out of it. So don't do things like, oh, I'm gonna push today and I'm gonna pull the same day, right? Because those are completely different muscle groups. I'm gonna do a squat and I'm gonna do bench press. Like, those are so many different muscle groups. Unless you're just trying to maintain your size, awesome. If you're trying to get bigger, if you're trying to lose more body fat, if you're trying to get develop those muscles, you want to compound those movements. You want to put a circuit together that targets all of them. Let me explain what I'm talking about. So let's say that I wanted to work on my shoulders today, all right? My shoulders and my arms. I would focus on something like a dip, right? I'll be here, and if you notice, it'll be my forearms, my biceps, my triceps, and my shoulders are all activated at one time right now, right? This is gonna be my compound movement, meaning this is gonna be the majority of my exercise that activates all the muscles I wanna work on. So I go down, right? I go back up, just like so. The equivalent of this for like bench press would be, well, bench press for your chest. The equivalent of this for your legs would be like your squat or deadlift. It's a compound movement that engages all your muscles. But don't just go to a different exercise after that. Now, since you've already fired your deltoids, your biceps, your triceps, you wanna make sure to add to that on your next circuit. So let's say I do 3 rounds of this, right? I would go right into maybe some like overhead presses, right? So I would go hammer curl, that's biceps and triceps. Here to overhead is shoulders, right? So biceps and triceps and shoulders. Guess what we just worked out over here? Biceps, triceps, shoulders, right? So this is an easier way. So now this was the harder version because I had to stabilize my entire body. I had to use my whole body weight. I had to do tons of reps, do tons of sets. Then I go to a lighter weight that I can control and manage, like a dumbbell, kettlebell, maybe even a band, and it's easier. Then you want to even start to control even smaller and smaller muscle groups. So I went most compound, simplified it, and used a little bit simpler version, which was the curl overhead press. Then you want to, let me throw this book. I don't need that one. Then you want to focus just the medial deltoid, all right? So out here. So you go from fully compound movement to a basic curl overhead press to a medial deltoid raise, right? So now I'm just focusing here. That's the idea, is you go as big as possible and then you work your way down, 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 down. And if you have to go lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter weight, it's okay if you end up with like a 5-pound or 1-pound weight at the end of it, because the whole idea is that you're constantly progressive overload, right? You're increasing how much force you're putting that muscle through to yield as much results to get out of it. This will make you far more sore, but it'll get you far more results as well. Now they've already hit the shoulders multiple times, hit the biceps and triceps multiple times. So now you would go into a circuit. So, where if I wanted to do like tricep extensions, right? Here, this is a harder version of a tricep extension because I'm doing 2 at one time. It's overhead, behind, I have the control for that weight. So, just like over here on the dips, you're controlling for the stability, that range. I'm using multiple muscles in that range, the shoulders, the triceps, the forearm. I'm using even a little bit of lats in here, even pec minor. A lot of muscles are working. And then I would work my way down from that, right? So that was triceps. What is another tricep exercise, right? Maybe we'll do like a kickback here. Now this is far more controlled, right? So I just did that, more compound movement, went to a smaller movement, triceps. Just focusing on his triceps as much as possible, and you want to burn yourself out there, right? And if you wanted to go even simpler than that, I guess you would just like, I don't know, flex a lot or something. Burn yourself out, but that's the point. Start big, as many muscles as you can, right? And work your way until you got more isolated, more isolated, more isolated, like a little pyramid here, until you only have one muscle that you're isolating, focusing on, that you want to isolate for that day. So the idea is work down to the muscle, at least the way I approach it, work down to the muscle that is the least strong, active, right? Or if you want to have aesthetics, work on the muscle that you want to show. Then if you're one of those people who just only works out 3 times a week and then you want to add a lower body part of the workout, after you've completely blown yourself out, then you can move over to the other half of the workout, to the legs, all right? So that's kind of the theory behind complete compound training and progressive overload. You want to isolate, think about which muscles you're using and use them together in a circuit and use the most amount of muscles in an exercise to the least amount of muscles in an exercise. And that's the kind of flow of that goes. Does that make sense, Alex? That's not Alex, that's a subscriber. Okay. All right, Awesome. Hope that made sense. Please also actually make sure that you follow along in the future. We're actually releasing a lot more in-depth content than this in the future. And you can only get access to it if you're part of the email list. And you can only get on the email list if you subscribe. So, haha, gotcha. See you next time.